close my eyes.
Yes, guys, good afternoon. How's everyone doing? Hope you're all doing good. Welcome back to the show, guys. Load of talk about today. We've got FA Cup preview. We're going to talk about injuries and whatnot. But we're going to talk about the opening story and what about Michael Edwards in 1 second. But, guys, before we start, don't forget to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, share the video, all that good stuff. And I hope everyone's doing well. K-Mac, how you doing, man?
Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, can hear you. Yeah. K-Mac's mic's cut out. Big up to everyone in the chat. Hope you're all doing good. Someone Teacup in the house. Krusty Bruce in the house. Redbird. Big up Ends in the chat. Hope you're doing well, man. Big up Ashley as well. Aare in the house. Fama. James, how you doing good? Hope you're all doing good, guys. Don't get yourselves in the chat. Ask any questions you want, guys. It's going to be a relaxed show, chilled out show. Obviously, we've got the FA Cup 5th round match against Southampton this evening, which I didn't realise now that most of the FA Cup rounds now go to penalty shootout. I didn't realise that now. There's no more replays in the FA Cup after the 5th round. So it's a one-off game. I'm excited about that. I like one-off games. I don't like replays. There's more excitement in football, in my opinion, in a one-off game because people can't hold on for draws and stuff. So we're going to talk about the FA Cup in a bit. But what we're going to talk about today, to start the show, we're going to talk about the breaking news. I didn't get time to put it in the title or change the thumbnail up or anything because it only just broke. But Michael Edwards, so FSG are trying to get Michael Edwards back, K-Mac, as the COO of Liverpool Football Club, which basically means he would be in charge of the day-to-day running of Liverpool Football Club, including finding the new sporting director. That is the job role they've offered to Michael Edwards, and we're just waiting on what he thinks. But what do you reckon? Is that a good move by FSG?
So, can you hear us okay now?
Yeah, perfectly.
Yeah, cool. So he was the guy that was working from the US, wasn't it? Michael Edwards wasn't the director of football under Klopp, was he? Was that him?
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I think that's good. I think that's good because I felt like he wanted a different type of role in the club. Because they went back to him, didn't he, and talked to him about director of football, and he said that he wasn't interested in that. He wanted a different role. So for them to give him basically the Billy Hogan job, isn't it?
Yeah, basically,
It's Billy Hogan's job, isn't it? So it's that makes perfect sense. And also, the guy that was running the club was a US guy that was in the UK to do the role, and he wants to go back to the US. So to get Edwards makes sense because he lives in the UK. You know, I mean, you want a person to do the job who actually wants to be there.
No, I'm with you, man. Like Fabrizio's
Mike
tweeted
Gordon,
that.
that was it. Sorry, Mike Gordon.
Mike Gordon.
I got mixed up.
Yeah.
Too many Mikes.
Yeah, Billy Hogan's the CEO of Liverpool, ain't he?
Mike Gordon.
Mike Gordon's the COO. So Fabrizio's tweeted out, more on the Liverpool plans. FSG want a new structure to be decided as soon as possible. It won't take long. Final attempt for Michael Edwards with an answer soon, or they will move on in March. This is as crucial as Liverpool want a new structure before appointing a new manager. Now, for me, they're going about this the correct way. I like the way they're going about this. You know, a lot of people, all the FSG haters on Twitter, I can see right now, are just, for some reason, criticising this move. I don't understand it. I think this is a clever move. Michael Edwards, you know, if they can get Michael Edwards in as the CEO and leave him with running day-to-day things with football at the football club, where he'll have a lot more say. He'll have the power, basically, which I think Michael Edwards craved in the first place. So if you're giving him the power and going, right, you're restructuring our football club, you know, you get the new sporting director in, and then you and the new sporting director are going to be in charge of the day-to-day running of our football club, then we're getting the manager in to go with that. You know, that's what we want, ain't it? I feel like it's the right step. Now, Michael Edwards could say no to this. If Michael Edwards say no to this, what Fabrizio is saying, that Liverpool will go in March and look for a new name. But for me, and this ain't an FSG hate thing, I just feel like they look like they're trying to do the right thing by the football club, and ain't that all we want?
Absolutely. The interesting thing about it as well, and you know I like my conspiracy theories. If we do get Michael Edwards, it does look like Klopp might have been pushed more than him literally walking, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because that does look like a little bit of when he's talking, he has to leave because he said it enough now. He has to leave. Like, is he throwing a little bit of light on there? The fact that, well, you know, he has to go, and there's a lot of rumours coming around now that he could go back into management pretty quickly. By the way, I've seen a couple of articles that have come up said that Klopp's interested in getting back into management a lot sooner than we all think. I don't know, but if we get Edwards, I got no complaints at all because, you know, he turns water into wine. You know what I mean? He turns, you know, he can polish turds.
Yeah.
You know,
And
he's really good at what he does.
And the thing is, he wanted more power in the fact that, you know, he wanted certain players out of our football club, and he wanted to bring certain players in, but there was a power struggle at our football club, which you gotta get with someone like Jurgen Klopp because he's a very powerful person. I ain't got really a problem with that anyway. But it's a weird one that since Jurgen Klopp said he's stepping away from Liverpool, FSG have now twice attempted to get Michael Edwards back. Now, I as I keep saying, I don't really like playing football conspiracies because I moan at FSG outers.
I do.
When they moan about football conspiracy, like when people say Jurgen Klopp's leaving because of Jude Bellingham, and I know the reasons why, and people actually don't give you the reasons why, and it's just a conspiracy-based thing. It's just a weird thing that Klopp said he's leaving, and now twice in this time that FSG and Liverpool are trying to get Michael Edwards back. I find that crazy.
And the interesting thing as well, mate, all the backroom staff are going as well. And who did Edwards have a problem with as well? The backroom staff. I don't know. There's rumours coming out that that Pep and Linders is doing the Ajax job at the end of the year, which is interesting because he's got his old mate Henderson there.
But yeah, it's just look. I think with Klopp, look, for me, Jurgen Klopp wants to leave because of his health and reasons like that. So I'm not going with anything like Klopp wanted to leave because, in my opinion, he does look shattered. No matter what anyone says, it's just weird that FSG is so desperate to get Michael Edwards back. There's so many people out there that could do this job. Yeah. It's not like there's a lot of people out there that can't do this job. And what they'd have to pay Michael Edwards to bring him back, it'd probably be more than going to get someone brand new. You know, because Michael Edwards ain't going to come back on what he was on before. So you have to pay him a little bit more to come and bring him back. So it ain't a money thing. It's I don't know. We are never, ever, ever go understand what happened at our football club that time when Michael Edwards decided he wanted to leave. The arguments between Jurgen Klopp, why Jurgen Klopp is leaving Liverpool. I don't think everyone's ever going to know. So for me, I always take it as face value. So if an owner tells me this, I'm going to just take their word for it. If my manager tells me this, I'm just going to take their word for it. So I take everything at face value at the moment. But there might be things deeper. There might be. But till I know that for a fact, it's really hard to talk about it. But Michael Edwards, though, I just find it mad. This is the second attempt now, K-Mac.
Yeah.
At getting him back. And look, he is very good at his job. So that is the right thing to do. You know, there was rumours that he left because he did 10 years at Liverpool and he just wanted to move on. There was no issue, which if that's one of the reasons, that's fine. But if he's going to get the power, not like coming back and being sporting director like he did in his old job is different. This is the COO. He's going to be running the football club pretty much. He's going to be that link between FSG and everyone else. So FSG will be just owning the football club, but pretty much Edwards would run the whole club day-to-day scene, and that'd be pretty hard to turn down. I'll be, if he turns it down, we move. But as I keep saying, it's a weird one. They've gone back for him twice, ain't it?
Yeah, I know I'm going to coin that. Edward turns water into wine, and I like that one. I think the interesting thing as well is there's a lot of rumours that have come out that FSG might be looking at a multi-club model as well, where we actually get buy another football club, which I think would make a lot of sense. The way you've got the Red Bull group, FSG could do the same. And Edwards would be a perfect guy in charge of a club to look at the multi-club model. I'll tell you what, though, I really trust Edwards to pick a good director of football, don't you?
Yeah,
he would pick a really good director of football and manager. He would.
His first choice. He'd probably get Julian Ward back.
Julian Ward was great.
Could you imagine?
He got us our first two signings in McAllister and Dominic Szoboszlai.
If Julian Ward, look, that'd make sense to me. If Michael Edwards came in and became COO of Liverpool, so he's doing the day-to-day running of the football club behind the scenes, and he hires Julian Ward back, because I think him and Julian Ward work together on their new venture, their capitalist venture. Mm-hmm. So if he can get him back, them two working together under a new manager would be something. Yeah, Alonso and Edwards would be a bit special. There's no doubt about
I'll
it.
tell you what's really interesting as well, and yeah, I'm going to conspiracy again. We are now looking at Edwards to run the club, yeah, and we're looking at him to maybe go and get the director of football and the manager. Now there's rumours coming out that Andy Robinson's up for sale. Thiago's looking for early retirement. Matip's not getting a new contract. These are all massive things that Klopp would not have allowed if he was fully in control. All of those things would not have happened if Klopp was fully in control. And there's an element of, like, George Smack came in. George Smack came in and we got rid of all of that midfield. What if that wasn't what Klopp wanted? What if that was from above? And this could have been the reason why Klopp did hand in his resignation in November and said, "This is my last season. Like, I'm leaving the club at the end of the year." It's a really interesting timeline that kind of goes on, and the timeline for me feels like try to get your own way, got your own way, everything turned to shit because it did. We had the worst season. Then went against all of your own principles because you binned everybody, yeah. Then got some players in to rebuild. A lot of those players were all like completely out of the blue type players, yeah, that we weren't really linked with, just came in with a new director of football, then handed in your resignation, yeah, that got kept quiet for a bit, then it came out, and now old director of football is being looked at for the new senior management role, and he's in charge of maybe getting the new director of football and the manager, and he left because he didn't get on with you in the first place, which is really really interesting timeline.
Yeah,
And I mean, for me, that timeline kind of works with my narrative there. And now you've got Robinson, Thiago, and Matip. None of those getting new contracts, so they'll be leaving on freeze. And one of your left backs will probably get sold for the highest he could get sold for, which is kind of a Michael Edwards model, where you're not letting him get too old. And loads of rumours with Salah as well, who's another player who's an asset, which is at an age where it's the last value you're going to get for him. That for me looks like a Michael Edwards model that's come back into play. Discuss.
Yeah, it's just, look, you are right. It's a bit. It feels like, because I said this last season, it feels like the FSG structure that they had in place a few years ago went away, and we went under a new kind of structure where I think Pep Linders and Jurgen Klopp had a lot of say on the transfers of the football club. And see, I don't think we would have bought Cody Gakpo and Gravenberch under the old structure, in my opinion. And I just feel like we went away from something a little bit, and I think the club are trying to get back to that. You know, if you look back to our early days, you know, the times under Jurgen Klopp, where Klopp was just a manager, Michael Edwards did all the business, got him the players, got him the contracts, sold the players, and then Klopp had tremendous players to work with. That was Liverpool's most successful time. And that was down to Michael Edwards being allowed to do his job and Jurgen Klopp just being allowed to do his job. What I think happened is that our owners trust Jurgen Klopp too much. They give him too much trust. So, because they don't want to lose him. So, because they don't want to lose him, they gave him a lot of more. You know, when Jurgen signed his new contract, you know, we were told in that contract that Jurgen had more power in the transfer department, you know, in the final say and all this sort of stuff. So, I think they trying to get back to this structure, and I think it worked. I think you should let a manager just manage in today's football. I don't think a manager, and this might be one of the reasons why Klopp is exhausted, because Klopp was manager and sporting director at Liverpool Football Club at the same time. That might be another reason why he's exhausted as well. I think in this day and age for football, you should have your manager is just managing and coaching the players. He's nothing else. The sporting director is in charge of contracts and transfers, and then you've got your COO and your CEOs of your football club that do all the behind the scenes work. And when you've got that structure in place, I think you got a structure any kind of club that can be built for success. I think Liverpool went away from that personally, and yeah, and that's why a lot of managers are being called coaches now, first team coaches, because managers back in the old days, the reason they're called managers because they managed everything about the football club. So they did contracts, they did transfers, they did, they sent scouts out to do scouting. Now they're more head coaches because, everyone else does the work. And I think that's what Liverpool got to get back to personally. So, and I think the way FSG are trying to do it should be actually commended. People keep saying that, they don't trust what they're going to do. They're going to hire the wrong people. But it looks like they're taking their time about it to get the right decision for the football club. They're trying to totally restructure the way we run. And that's a good thing because this structure at the moment don't really work no more. So they're trying to restructure it. I think John W. Henry and Tom Werner are going to take more of a back seat. They're just going to be the owners of the football club. They're going to take a back seat. They want someone to come in they can trust and know that can run the shop, basically, day-to-day stuff. That will be the right person to go and get the right sporting director in charge, and then they'll get the right manager to go with that fit. And I think that makes a lot of sense to me, K-Mac. I don't know about you.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense to me. I mean, at the end of the day, Billy Hogan and Mike Gordon have done an incredible job. To get us as high as we are in the gamble, what is it? I can't remember what it's called. The financial footings of sponsorships and all that kind of stuff. To get us third, I think we were third at one stage, and then we've dropped down to seventh, obviously because we came out of the Champions League. And also the Nike sponsorship deal is just ridiculous. It's the third biggest sponsorship deal in football, and the merchandise, they're in charge of all of that. Deloitte Money League, that's it. Big up Aaron. Yeah, I mean, for those guys to be able to do that is just fantastic because this keeps the club stable, and it means that all of the money that comes in can be spent on players and on the club, and there's no money being taken out like the Glazers do and all of them lot, which is great. Our owners don't take money out of our club because we obviously do so well with the management that we have that runs the club, and to then put that over to another guy who knows the club inside and out and was with the club for 6 years. Was it 6 or 7 years he was with us? And he was also with us when we were at our highest point, when we were winning league titles and when we were winning Champions League. He was there. I just think it's a great way of keeping the continuity at the club and not just giving it to somebody completely new who doesn't know the club and needs to obviously do it as he goes along. And the fact that we are having a complete strip out of all the coaches and the management and the medical staff, everything is getting changed. I don't know about the recruitment side. I don't know about the scouts and the data analysis teams and that. I don't know whether they're changing because I haven't heard of Will Spearman changing. I've heard that he's still in charge of the data-driven stuff.
Yeah, Spearman, Hunter. Yeah, they're still.
Yeah, it still sounds like that's staying. That's going to stay in place. But fitness and coaches and all of that kind of stuff's all going. Even the academy guys going as well. So it does make sense to get someone in who knows the club and can pull on people that he knows to get back in. And maybe Julian Ward would be a guy that's that's available for director of football. But I do think we'll go for a guy that's worked with a multi-club model before, because I do think that FSG are going to buy another club. I do think they might buy another club now, because they clamped down on FFP and that in the league. I think there might be an opportunity for them to maybe expand.
Yeah, the multi-club thing is what everyone's doing at the moment. And
Yeah.
it does make sense. It does make sense.
It looks like the next step as well for me.
Yeah. The thing is, I've just been reading more on this Mark Edwards thing while you were chatting then.
Someone wrote Edwards will walk in like a butcher.
Yeah. What I find interesting about this Mark Edwards stuff is that Mark Edwards turned them down the last time, right? And FSG don't usually go back again. You know, when they get turned down on anything, FSG usually move on quite quickly to something new, right? So something must have been said where FSG feel like Michael Edwards left the door open a little bit. You know what I mean? Because he turned them down flat, man. No, so David Ornstein. I've got David Ornstein's tweet up from January. So Michael Edwards turned down the chance to rejoin Liverpool. Mike Gordon called him last week to float an idea of taking the senior role at the club or FSG overseeing LFC's rebuild, but Edwards made it clear he would not be coming back. So that was in January.
Klopp announced he was going, Jamie?
That was in January, though. That was when Klopp announced it, wasn't it? So
and when did Edwards say no?
So it'd be
Isn't that interesting? What came first?
I think this Edwards stuff came out after the Klopp stuff came out.
Did it?
Yeah, and the thing is, remember, Klopp told the club in November, so they might have done stuff behind the scenes from November that we didn't know about, which is also why I think it had to come out, because it was going to get leaked.
Edwards wouldn't have been told that. There's no way Edwards would have been told Klopp's leaving. Like, that would have been kept stump. And also the club wouldn't have accepted it. They would have kept on trying to keep Klopp. They wouldn't have just gone, okay, mate, you're the best manager we've ever had. Okay, you could go. No, they would have gone, well, can you give us, can anything we can do? Like, can we come back to the table? You know, they would have been trying for Klopp for a couple of months. Like, that wouldn't have just been a case of he handed in his resignation in November and then that was it. Like,
yes, it is interesting.
They're probably still trying to keep Klopp, mate.
Oh, look, if Klopp turned around to FSG tomorrow and said, don't worry about your new search, I've changed my mind, they will rip everything up quicker than you can blink. I'll tell you that right
Exactly.
now. You know what I'm saying? They'll just say, yeah, all right, yeah, no worries, cool, here's a new 10-year contract.
David Ornstein will be out with a new interview.
I guarantee you right now as well, if Jurgen Klopp decided to change his mind, which he won't, but if he decided to change his mind and stay at Liverpool Football Club, FSG would make him the most expensive paid manager in the world.
Of course they would.
Even
if we'd announced Alonso,
yeah,
they de-announced Alonso and say, sorry, Xavi, go to Bayern now. Jurgen's back.
Yeah, look, I think what FSG doing the right thing. They're trying to look at Michael Edwards. Michael Edwards might say no again, which is perfectly fine. If he wants to say no, that's not a problem. FSG have already said they're trying one more time. They want him to be the COO of Liverpool, which means total control of Liverpool's operations. He then employs a sporting director to work with him, and then FSG will appoint your manager. So what this tells me is that FSG are trying to actually do this properly, which I think we've all got to give them their flowers for. They're actually attempting to look at a new structure of the football club, get the right people in charge, and to run the football club, which is the correct way of doing it. Yeah, it's the correct way of doing it. They want to get away, and I think this is the most important thing. They're trying to get away from the Jurgen Klopp Liverpool, because you have to, because there is no other Jurgen Klopp. He's one of a kind. There is no point trying to keep everything the same and get Jurgen Klopp light. You know, there's no version of Diet Coke Jurgen. Do you know what I mean? You can't. There's no point, because it's not the man himself, and you're only going to fail. For me, you're only going to fail if you try and get someone like Jurgen Klopp. and keep the Jurgen Klopp way at Liverpool. It won't work because only one man can do it that way. So they're doing the right thing. They're doing exactly the right thing. They're getting rid of that whole structure and starting a brand new structure. They're trying to get Michael Edwards in as the COO. He will run operations of football. They get a sporting director in and then the manager, which tells me one thing as well. They want a certain manager that can work with a certain sporting director and that, which is really interesting. Which is really, really interesting. And
I just wrote the dream team in the chat.
Did you?
For me, yeah. Edwards, Amaron, and Paul Mitchell. Dream team. They'd be amazing.
That could work. That could work.
They'd be amazing.
I mean, look personally. Look, do I think Edwards is going to come back? Probably not. Probably not. But do I like the fact that FSG are trying to do the right thing? Yes. Are they panicking? No. And that's one good thing. Our owners are not panicking. They're trying to take their time and get the right people. I don't get why people got an issue with this. I don't know what they think the owners should do. I don't get why people got an issue with the process at the moment. There's no rush to do anything right now. They're taking their time. They're trying to get the right people in place. They, by the look of it, they want a team in place that's going to be together for quite some years. Otherwise, they would just go and get another version of George Smack that'll only be here for a year or two. It's easy to do. By the look of it, they're trying to get a thing in place where it's settled for the next few years. Next 5 or 6 or 7 years, we got, the CEO, we got the sporting director, and we got the manager. This threesome basically that. Well, the
reason I say Paul Mitchell as well, by the way, is because Michael Edwards and Paul Mitchell work together at Tottenham. Just in case people don't know, Paul Mitchell is an incredible director of football. Like, seriously, guys, he's the guy that signed Heung-min Son at Tottenham. He's the guy that got Harry Kane off his loan deal and into the Tottenham team. He revolutionised Pochettino's Tottenham for him. I'm not kidding you. Like, he's the guy that sold Gareth Bale, Modric. Like, look at the money they made off those players alone. He's the guy that was instrumental for that. He's the guy that got Dele Alli to where he was, because he was at MK Dons when Dele Alli was there, and he got signed Dele Alli for Tottenham. He's the guy that got Dominic Szoboszlai to bloody Leipzig, like the Leipzig team, the Red Bull model. He was involved in that. And he went to Monaco, and he did incredible stuff with Monaco. Like, some of the players that have gone to Monaco and signed from Monaco, he was involved in that. Like, he's only 42 as well, Paul Mitchell. So he's young, and that's why I like Amaron. I think Amaron is just, if you're looking at data, if you're looking at a data model, he's the guy. He's 39. He speaks English. He's been in the Champions League. He's won leagues. He's won cups. He's faced all kinds of adversity with a club, which is basically plays second fiddle to Benfica and Porto. They haven't won a league title in like 40 odd years, and then he won one. He's probably going to win another league title this year. It just makes perfect sense. Those two with Michael Edwards, who's got connections to Mitchell, just makes perfect sense to me. And I mean, the best we've ever had under Klopp was with Edwards as director of football. You can't deny it. Can't deny it. Like,
no.
We went on and tried for the quad when he wasn't there. I understand that, and we can all say that that was a great time as well with Klopp, which is fair enough. And Edwards wasn't there, but Julian Ward was there, who was trained by Edwards.
Yeah,
see what I mean?
Yeah, I think, look, it's just so interesting that FSG had gone back in for Edwards when he said no the first time round. That's what interests me about this, because FSG never go back in for anything. if they've been turned down. And
They
they've
got
gone
turned
back
down
in
by,
for him.
by Mitchell, by the way.
Yeah.
They went for Mitchell. He turned them down.
Yeah. There must have been something there that where FSG thought he's left the door open a little bit for more discussions. So there must be something there, otherwise they wouldn't have gone back in for him.
Come back to me when Jurgen's not there.
It's just, it's mad. And look, FSG have done this structural thing before. The structure of Liverpool Football Club under Brendan Rodgers was completely different than it was under Jurgen Klopp. So when Brendan Rodgers was there, you had people like Damien Comolli as our sporting
there wasn't
director.
a structure, mate. It was
you know how
absolute
bad
mess.
Damien Comolli was as a sporting director? He was not good.
He was so bitter as well. He's still bitter now. Have you heard what he talks about Liverpool now? He still hates us like for what happened.
He's an atrocious sporting director, and everything was a mess. You know, we were spending a lot of money. Everyone forgets it. FSG was spending a lot of money back then as well on shit. On absolute
mostly Southampton players.
You know, like Brendan Rodgers somehow got FSG to buy in Barini and Lambert. I mean, because that's who Brendan Rodgers wanted. Brendan Rodgers wanted players. He just wanted players. He didn't care who were good. He just wanted players. He kept saying that all the time. Just need players. I need players. And, and Damien Comolli was the sporting director. And then Michael Edwards became sporting director. And I think one of the first players Michael Edwards bought was Bobby Firmino for 29 million. Yeah. Gave him to Brendan Rodgers. And Brendan Rodgers didn't know what to do with him. He never heard of him. Never scouted him. Didn't know where he played, so he played him right wing back. Yeah, and then Jurgen Klopp came along and went, all right, he's my centre forward. The rest is history.
He knew him from Hoffenheim. He liked him at Hoffenheim, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just.
Have you heard what Jurgen said about Firmino when he came? He was like, he turned up and he was like, "Oh, Bobby's here. I remember Bobby from Hoffenheim. He was brilliant." But he was getting played in the wrong position for Hoffenheim.
He couldn't believe when he saw Bobby Firmino and Philippe Coutinho. He was like, there may be a chance. There may be a chance. I've got two ballers here. You remember the Man City game? One of Jurgen Klopp, the first Man City game Jurgen Klopp played against City. And I think we won 4-1. And he played Coutinho up front with Firmino.
Champions League, wasn't it?
No, the Premier League game, the 4-1 game.
Premier League game. We beat him 4-1 Champions League as well.
When he played Bobby Firmino and Coutinho up front together, and they were just linking like beautiful football playing.
That was sauce. That
Emre Can just played behind them with Lallana on the other side, and they were just playing nice little football between each other. It's beautiful. Yeah, Bobby was the man. Michael Edwards was the man as well. Big up Sam Max Legend in the house. How you doing? Well, man. With Edwards back, we could go back to full money ball, which was always hit and miss. Very unsure of the future, says Sam Max Legend. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it's actually, if you look at Liverpool's time under Jurgen Klopp, the best time under Jurgen Klopp was when Michael Edwards was in charge, I think. Look at the team Michael Edwards built. Yeah.
And Julian Ward.
But look at the team Michael Edwards built with Jurgen Klopp. Look at the team he built. Look at the players he got rid of, the players they brought in. Yeah, it was a heck of a time. I mean, I look at that now and sort of wish I went back to it.
What you also have to look at as well is the youngsters we've now got coming through. We've had these for a number of years, and these were signed under Edwards, by the way. Like we seem to be forgetting the fact that we've now got people coming into the team that we're now raving about. These were signed by Edwards through the academy as well. Like he ran the whole show. Like the whole recruitment thing was done through him. Like so, the likes of Bradley and Queven Keller and Quansah and these guys, like this all would have had elements of Edwards involved as well. Maybe not. Quansah, because he's been with us for longer than Edwards, but I'm pretty sure Bradley and Queven came through, and Bobby Clark.
Yeah,
2000. Yeah, probably like 3-4 years ago. I'm not 100% sure, but I think there's probably an element of the youth players have come through as well with Edwards.
Yeah, certainly. Edwards is very good at selling players as well. And this is what I've been critical of Liverpool the last few years. Liverpool are terrible at selling players now. And when Michael Edwards was in charge of it all, he was selling players for ridiculously good money. And he was selling benched players in the background for good money that then we could spend on players that would become squad and first team footballers. So that's what Edwards is. That's one of, I've always said, it's easy buying players. The hardest thing actually to do is sell players. Because you got to get good money for them. You got to make sure they want to go. It's very difficult to sell a player and when to sell a player because you can hold on for players too long, which Liverpool found out. Liverpool decided not to sell players anymore. And we held on for players far too long. Their legs started to go. We couldn't get the most out of them no more. We couldn't get anything financially out of them either. Look how many players left for free. That's what Liverpool got bad at. And that's what Liverpool need to get good at again, is selling players, man. Selling players.
And also we need to get good at signing the right players, because look at some of the players that Edwards wanted, the Klopp didn't. Someone just wrote that we got Taki Minamino because Klopp wanted him, and Edwards told him to get Haaland.
Yeah, it was a weird one, wasn't it? It was a weird one. I don't get why.
It's absolutely true though. Like he told him. I'm just rattling a few off now. You've got Enzo Fernandez, that's one. You've got Caicedo, that's another. These are all before they came to the Prem. And then you've got the likes of Sven Botman and Bruno Guimaraes. They're all players that Edwards wanted.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Crazy.
Yeah. I'm still not sure in the end. I've got to say, I'm still not sure on Enzo Fernandez. I watch him play.
No. I mean, we could have got him for like I think it was like
14 million.
Yeah, it was like 8 million or something like that.
Yeah, I just want to go back to that. I just like the fact they're trying to restructure the football club. As I said, under Brendan Rodgers, FSG and Liverpool looked completely different. They got rid of Kamoli. They employed, because remember, Michael Edwards got employed within the team, didn't he? He was doing another job at the club. He got promoted into that sporting director role. And then from there, they put together a better transfer committee, because there was a transfer committee before, but the people doing it were absolutely shit at their job. The Parrys and the Kamolis of this world and that. And, I remember under Hicks and Gillette when we won the Champions League in 2005. It was Hicks and Gillette in charge then? I can't remember. But I don't think they were then. I can't remember who was in charge. No, who was in charge? It might be Moores still.
David Moores. David
Moores was still in charge, wasn't he? But Rick Parry in that he decided to shut the Liverpool stores when you got a parade. He's like, open it up, man, make money. But yeah, it was all a bit of a mess, wasn't it? Let's face it. And then they put Edwards in charge as sporting director. Ian Graham and Spearman and Hunter were part of that transfer committee. And Jurgen Klopp is this world-class elite manager. And their combination together was magic. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. But you can't recreate the Jurgen Klopp feel of the football club. You just can't. It's like Pep Guardiola leaving City and you try and find the next Pep Guardiola. It's not, you don't want to do that because it can go utterly wrong, in my opinion. So you need to move away. You need to move away and go for a new structure. And that's what they're going with now. They're going with a brand new structure. And it's exciting times, in my opinion, to see who they're going to get. Now, will Michael Edwards come? Probably not, because he turned us down already. He's been at club before. Probably wants to do something new. But I like the fact that FSG, and I see people on Twitter saying this is desperate from FSG. I don't know how it's desperate. That's weird to me. You're getting someone in who's tremendous at their job. It's not desperation. It's doing the right thing. Rick Parry was useless. Right, let's get away from the Michael Edwards stuff, because that's all we know so far. If any more news comes out about him, we'll talk more. But yeah, we can't talk about anymore at the moment because that's all we really know right now. But look, we've got certain injured players coming back, which is fantastic. So Jurgen Klopp in his press conference yesterday talking about some players coming back hopefully soon. I would say for the weekend, you'll probably see Darwin's and Szoboszlai's and Endo's and Salah part of the weekend squad. I doubt you'll see them for Wednesday. I think
No.
Wednesday is too soon. Also, it's going to be interesting what sort of team he picks for Wednesday because today it is Wednesday. What am I chatting about?
Yeah, today.
For today's game. It'd be interesting to see what these lineup he picks. I'm interested in seeing some of the young guys again. Bobby Clark, McConnell, Dan's up top. It's going to be good, man. But these players coming back for the weekend, man, you excited for it? Because we really, I know Scraps. I don't. It's 3 kids, man. I don't know what day of the week is anymore. These players coming back though, because the weekend game for me against Nottingham Forest is so important.
So big.
Arsenal in their next 2 games play Brentford and Sheffield United. That's their next 2 games, yeah. So you have to say Arsenal win both games. Liverpool need to win both games as well. So this Forest game for me is very, very important because then we next game after Forest, we all know, is next Sunday against Manchester City, and Man City got United this weekend as well. So very busy time for the Reds, but you excited hopefully having these players back for the weekend, man?
Yeah, I mean everyone wants us to play like the under 12s tonight, but you have to think if we win tonight, the Everton game gets pushed back, which means we get more rest for players. So I actually want us to win tonight. I do think you'll probably see one of the midfielders in Szoboszlai, McAllister, or Endo play tonight. Everyone wants like Trey Awoni and Bobby Clark. I mean, we need to have some seniors in the team, otherwise we will just get smashed. Like, you need to have some kind of seniority in the team. Like, so that's just not going to work if we don't. So I would like to see, maybe Harvey Elliott or a Gapco or a McAllister, Endo or Szoboszlai. Definitely a Gomez and a Shimikas in there. We need some seniors. The weekend, I'm hoping we should have Nunez, Salah, and Dom back, because I think the whole not playing them for the cup final was for them to be fit for the Forest game, but like fully fit for the Forest game, and that's why the doctors said hold off on Dom for the final, and after the Luton game, it's just genius by Klopp. Like it really is just genius management, because we're down to the bare bones, and we were for the Luton game as well. But it's the fact that those guys got us through that Luton game, and they came on in the second half and really, really ground out a win. And it could have been 7. Like, we absolutely battered them in the second half. And for him to just sit there like that at the changing rooms at the end and go, you know what, I'm gonna ask these to do it again in the final, and just make sure Salah, Nunez, and Szoboszlai are 100% fit for the Forest game and for the Man City game. Otherwise, it could have been rolling the dice again with Salah or Dom or Nunez, and against Chelsea, maybe pulling another hamstring or, getting another knock, and then they're out for a couple more weeks. And it's genius play, but it's just the fact that we've had to do this over and over again all season. If we win the league and a cup, and another cup, it has to be the best season. It has to be the best achievement ever under Klopp. Just the adversity, the fact that he's had to go through all of this over and over again, injuries, referees, matches, early kickoffs, no kind of no kind of help from anybody. Like just basically obstacles and shit in the way constantly.
I agree as well. I agree.
It's unbelievable.
Big up Sam Max Legend with the super. Appreciate it,
big up.
man. Yeah, it's great discussion. Talking about the Edwards and Klopp stuff and everything about the football club and the structure of the club right now. I think there'll be more videos about it because we're going to get more details coming soon and things like that. So it's going to be interesting as well. So yeah, there'll be more to talk about it, no doubt. Guys, there's 170 people here. Please go and make sure you hit that like button. Try and get 100 likes on today's video if we can. I'd appreciate it. It helps the channel grow. The more likes a video gets, YouTube pushes it out to more people that don't know my channel exists, and more eyes come onto the product. So please leave a like on the video. I'd really
someone
appreciate
also
it.
put my channel link in the chat as well, please? I appreciate it. If anyone wants to go and follow, thank you.
DMs, mods, do your thing, man. Mods, do your thing. Yeah, the games coming up are interesting. With tonight's game, I think McAllister will play because McAllister came off after 60 minutes, I believe, didn't he, in the cup final?
Yeah, his legs were gone.
Yeah, so I think McAllister might play. I think Cody Gakpo will play.
Yeah.
I think Kelleher will still be in goal. I know a lot of people talk about Adrian. I just don't see it happening. I think Kelleher will stay in goal. I think Bradley will play at right back because he's only 19.
He came off as well.
Yeah, and he came off as well. And recovery for a 19-year-old is a lot easier than a 25-year-old. Is just natural. So yeah, play, and he's basically a first team now. We got look. I said this to Cal last night, but I think we're gonna have to have this Brent Bradley discussion at right back very soon because Conor Bradley's different, man.
Well, you're going to have it with him.
I just feel like, yeah, I feel like we're gonna have this discussion. Big Up Freedom says, "Hi guys, can you explain if we can recall?" I don't think we can, mate. I don't think we can. I think it was a deal that, yeah, we can't go back.
Klopp said a lot of good things about him as well, by the way. So,
yeah. I think Carvalho's got a future at Liverpool next season.
Hell yeah.
I think he's got a future.
He's going to be a sensational number 10.
Yeah, definitely.
Under any manager, honestly.
Most definitely.
Brilliant.
Yeah, guys, smash that like button. I appreciate it. Okay, makes sounds like a 90s rapper. Brady giving Trent nightmares. And by the way, when I say this, I don't want Trent out of the team. Just a new position, before anyone comes at me. Before anyone comes at me right there.
Did you know that? I didn't know this, by the way. Did you know that Bradley scored 8 goals for Bolton in that season he played for them?
Yeah, he used to get doubled up all the time.
8 goals.
He used to get doubled up all the time. That's what the Bolton manager said, wasn't it? Now you see
why. Have a look at some of those goals, lads. They are really good finishes.
Bradley he started his career as a right winger, didn't he? So that's why he's quite good going forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, toxic cash. Sorry, you are right. If Shabby comes in, Carvalho could fit. Yeah, definitely.
I'll tell you what. If Zabby comes in, Bradley will be insane on that right-hand side.
It's interesting times. That's what I'm saying. The future's brighter than people think. I know Jurgen's leaving, and he's who he is. He's Jurgen. We're all going to be look on the final Premier League game of the season. We're all going to probably have a tear in our eye. That's but I do think the future is there because of Jurgen, because of what Jurgen's done. The future is actually bright, so we can move on quite well. But this game tonight, I think we might play Kwanzaa and Gomez as centre backs.
Makes sense.
That'd be my centre back partnership tonight. Kwanzaa and Gomez. Tsimikas left back. So I'd probably go Tsimikas left back, Gomez and Kwanzaa in the middle, and Bradley on the right. I think that's a good back four.
That's a really good back five, isn't it?
Yeah, and Keller in goal against Southampton at home. I think that's a pretty good solid defence. Then the midfield, I'll probably go Clark, McAllister, and McConnell. That'd be my midfield three. them three there.
I said Endo on Frank's channel last night, but McAllister is definitely an option as well.
Yeah, with Endo, he played 120 minutes though, didn't he? And got a knock in his foot. So I think he might.
He is a warrior though, isn't he?
But Endo's pivotal now. He's pivotal to us. So how mad is it? We bought Wataru Endo at the summer that no one knew who he was. Everyone started complaining, apart from me. So I've been number one fan for a time. And everyone started complaining and moaning about Wataru Endo.
I was as well, by the way. I was complaining.
Yeah, exactly. And we all said, just give Endo time. Just give Endo time. He's a good technical footballer. And now everyone's like, shit, he's pivotal to our midfield now. I said it already. He's the third best DM in the league, in my opinion. You know, because I don't count Douglas Luiz as an offensive midfielder. He's like an all-round midfielder. You know, and Rodri, Declan Rice, Wataru Endo. It's a fact. And if people don't like it, I'm so sorry. But Endo's up there, man.
I disagree with that at all.
Endo's up there.
I'll tell you an interesting stat on Endo as well. I think he's played 28 games, 22 wins, and 38 goals.
Endo hasn't lost yet.
38 goals for us in those games as well. He's been absolutely sensational.
Liverpool have only lost 3 games in all competitions this season, by the way. That's all. And Endo didn't play any of them. Or start any of them, anyway. I don't know if he came on a sub, but he didn't start any of them games that we lost. So
no.
It's the balance it gives. It's the balance it gives. Stefan Bacesic, we heard, looks like he's pain-free now, which is excellent because Klopp said a lot of his issues have been pain-related. And when you're pain-free, your body just feels completely different. Like it can do anything. So let's hope Stefan's actually back quite soon. I think Stefan might be back maybe after the international break as well. I think Stefan will be back after the international break. Yeah,
I think he might be on the bench for Forest.
Yeah, it could be. It could
Klopp
be.
had like an interesting conversation with himself, which was weird. He said, "Oh, I was thinking about Stefan last night. I'm wondering why he wasn't playing." And I was like watching it, going, "What are you on about?" But the doctors have said no, but he's doing training, which is weird. Anyway, I think he'll be back soon, very soon.
Yeah, the deep dive was that on Redmen TV, Ashley. Yeah, I saw that when they were looking at Endo. Endo's so much better than people give him credit for, man. Is he the best DM in the world? And can you get better? Probably, yeah, of course. But is he underrated? Yeah, massively underrated. His passing is excellent. He actually plays balls through the channels, through the lines. You know, he breaks the passing lanes. You know, yeah. I love the guy. He's not a better passer than McAllister.
There's also rumours that he wasn't a George Smacked signing.
That was a Jurgen signing.
He was a data-driven signing.
Well, Jurgen loved him, didn't he? Jurgen wanted him. Jurgen wanted him 3 years ago, and Jurgen was right. Look, Jurgen was right. I'll pick up Jurgen here. So this is my thing I said the other day on my show the other day when I was going solo. I said, like, the owners should have listened to Jurgen 3 years ago about Wataru Endo. Because if Wataru Endo came to Liverpool 3 years ago when he was 27, Fabinho would still be at the football club today. Because Fabinho wouldn't have been overworked. Because Wataru Endo would have played a lot of games where Fabinho would have been rested more. And right now, we wouldn't have a legs gone Fabinho, and we'd probably have a Fabinho and an Endo in our team right now. As our 2 DMs rotating. So, you know, that's where they made a mistake. They should just listen to Jurgen then, because he's obviously a good player, man. He's obviously a very, very good player. Jurgen, I think it was more Jurgen came out, to be fair. Jurgen really, really pushed for him. I think even in his press conference, he told the owners that, no, we need Endo, you know, and he had to convince them to sign him as well. But yeah, he went in 3 years back. So I'll give Jurgen his flowers on that one.
Yeah. He's from the data analysis team, I'm telling you guys.
Yeah.
Ballows.
I'll give him his flowers on that one. Yeah, of course, a prime Fabinho is better. A prime Fabinho was better than anyone, but at least you could have Endo in there to give Fabinho rest, because let's face it,
Yeah.
unless Fabinho was injured, he played every game for like 3 or 4 years, playing that lone six.
Always in the team.
He just killed his legs. So if you had an Endo there 3 years ago, you could have gone, right, Fab, you can sit out a couple of games now, and we put Wataru in. You don't have to rush, and you'd have them both in now.
Even if you could have just played Wataru for the cup games, that would have been perfect on Fab.
Yeah, exactly.
Would have saved him like 20 games.
Exactly, 20 games a season. Do you imagine how much saving on his legs that would be? Yeah, Endo does remind me of Mascherano in a way. Mascherano was like that pit bull, weren't he? And he was sort of ragged. Yeah, I do get it, man. And Endo comes to Endo wants the ball. He don't hide. You watch him in that midfield, even if he's tightly marked, Endo wants the ball, and he's got a good turn on him. And I don't know if everyone else has noticed recently as well. Endo's movement is a lot smoother now. When he first came, he looked a bit robotic, a bit stuck in the mud. But now his movement looks a lot smoother, like his turns when he's turning with the ball and before he gets the ball, his movement is a lot smoother. And he looks a little quicker on the ball now as well when he's covering the ground. I mean, in the cup final, he ran past Caicedo like he weren't there. And then obviously, did everyone see when Caicedo just bounced off him as well? That was hilarious.
That's how he got injured.
Yeah, he just completely
Caicedo's just a dirty bastard. Really petulant. Like when I watched that Chelsea game, and it was like when they realised they couldn't get near us, they just started hacking us. It's it's pathetic. It's pathetic.
He does look like, and if he's got a fractured leg, he'd be like, I'm playing on. He wears a gum shield, for goodness sake. Why? I want to know why Liverpool store yet has not got Endo gum shields in sale, because they will sell out. They will sell out. Come on, Liverpool store, get it going. We want to see
Nike
the Endo
are going to be all over that now, aren't they?
I want to see the Liverpool gum shields. I'll have to sell them. I need to see Liverpool gum shields. They will sell out massively. They'd sell out massively.
You just got loads of people in the crowd with gum shields on.
They would as well. They'll wear their gum shields and they'll be smiling the camera on match day like this, wouldn't they? Like, yeah, man. Big up, real football. Big up to you, my friend. Nice to meet you, James. Nice to meet you too, my friend. Thank you for being here. I do appreciate it. Much love to you, my friend. Your forward line tonight, my man. Your forward line tonight. I think Dan's plays. Who else do you think plays alongside him? What's your forward line?
I think Kate Gordon will probably play. I mean, I did say on Frank's show last night that I think Elliot might play again. So it might be Elliot, Gakpo, Gordon, or maybe Elliot, Gakpo, Dan's. But Gakpo might end up being on the wing, or Dan's might be on the wing. I think it might be. Gakpo's not been stinky all season. Gakpo's been a bag man.
Do you know what? His performances haven't been great, but I think he has got 11 goals in all competitions, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So it's Gakpo's been a weird one, because when we got him last January, he looked like a player, didn't he? From January to the end of the season, he really helped us out in that area. But then this season, he's not. I don't think he's kicked on. That's the issue. I don't think he's kicked on, but he's got 11 goals and 5 assists, something like that. So it's not the end of the world. And he plays every position. He plays the number 8 this season. He's played right wing, left wing, the number 9. He's a versatile player. My only problem is when all the forwards are fit, Gakpo's probably 5th in the order.
Yeah, you're right.
That's the thing,
That. I think he's got. I think Gakpo's got 11 goals in. I think it's 35 shots. Like, he's a bag man. Like, he just needs to He just needs to get in front of goal more, get in a position where he can shoot more. He could have scored the winner at the weekend.
Yeah, he seemed. He definitely got it in him to get goals. There's no doubt about that. He has got it in him to get goals. I just don't know where he fits at the moment with a fully fit Liverpool team, and that's going to be his issue.
His best position's left wing, but he's just not going to play there because that's where Diaz plays.
Yeah,
maybe he plays there tonight and Dan plays up front, and then you got Elliott on the right, which for me is enough to get us through this game tonight.
Mm.
I don't think Southampton are going to be playing their best players because they've lost the last 2 games and they're in 4th place and they've got 2 hard games coming up. So they need to concentrate on the league.
Yeah, I think they've lost 3 out of 4
on the league.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. I mean, look, Liverpool are at home, and because Liverpool are at Anfield tonight, even if we put the kids out, because of that Anfield crowd and that pumped at the moment, and the confidence going through the whole team right now, and because it's a night game under the lights, I just feel that Anfield crowd will get them over the line in a way, in my opinion. I can't wait for tonight's game. I'm really looking forward to tonight's game because some of these youngsters I'm seeing now are really like, you know what, they're good footballers. That McConnell kid, yeah? McConnell. What I loved about his performance against Chelsea when he came on is that he weren't afraid to give the ball away.
No.
And that's always a big sign of confident players, that you're not afraid to give the ball away. And what I mean by that is that he's trying something. He's not keeping it safe. He's not coming on there and just playing nice, say, 5-yard sideways passing and just looking like he's doing a job when he's not really doing anything. You know, it's very easy for footballers to do that, where they look busy, but they're not really doing anything because they're just little 3-yard sideways passes for about 100 touches. And it's nothing. And you're not really getting in. But he got involved. You know, he's taking players on. He was turning. He was always playing on the half turn, on the halfway line. You know, he's dinking the shoulder, getting past people. He's playing balls into feet. You know, he's playing 1-2s on the edge of the box with Clark. I love that. I absolutely love that. And that's a confident player, man. That's a confident player. And I want to see a little bit more of that. I want to see a little bit more of that tonight. I'm really, and because it's at Anfield, I think we're going to see a lot more of that tonight. I think if McConnell and Clark start this game, their confidence is going to be so high.
Absolutely.
And Klopp,
mate.
we know Klopp don't restrict them. Klopp will let them play. Klopp will go out there and just go, show them your stuff, man. Show you can play. Show them that you can play.
They've got nothing to prove, by the way. They've got nothing to prove, and that's what I love. Like, they've got nothing to prove. They're there by their own rights. McConnell, great little signing from Sunderland a couple of years ago. Like, really good signing. He's actually a number 8. You know, he's not a number 6.
Yeah.
But he's been asked to play there a few times now, and he's done a great job. He looks comfortable on the ball. Jayden Dance looks like a real player to me, you know.
Yeah, I've seen 2 examples of him now when he's came on, and
he's looked like a real player. Like, he's just turned 18 as well, by the way. Just turned 18.
Like James is saying here, it's his movement. His movement looks natural.
Yeah.
You know, it don't look artificial. It don't look like he's been coached to have that movement. It looks like he's just got that attacking movement in the final third. Yeah, I think he's a player that we got to keep an eye on, real eye on, and make sure we tie up. I want these youngsters tied up to long contracts, because Clark's, McConnell, Dan's, Connor Bradley's, they need to be tied down, man. I think Kumas might get a game today as well.
Yeah, I think he might come off the bench.
Yeah,
I also think Trey Awoni will come off the bench as well.
Trey Awoni, yeah, it could be the youngest ever player to play for Liverpool if he comes on today.
Yeah,
if he makes any appearance today as well. You know, only 16. The talent's there, man. The talent's there. But what you got to do, you just got to make sure there's a few veterans around the young talent.
Yeah,
that's why I think someone like a Gomez playing today, a Tsimikas playing, and McAllister in that midfield just gives that bit of a aura in that midfield that the youngsters can go and play their game because they know they've got Alexis in the midfield. and maybe a Cody Gakpo up front. Maybe a Gakpo up front and then 2 youngsters around him, because that just, you got that more experienced player up top, and then they could all work in together. And I think it does well, man. And I think we get the job done.
Gomez will be captain tonight if he plays.
Yeah, Gomez will be captain. Yeah, no doubt about that.
Yeah. Saying that though, Gakpo's been captain, like he was captain for Ajax. Sorry, PSV.
Yeah, the game tonight, Frank. I'm at the game tonight.
I think Dan's will score.
Yeah, man. I'd love it. What's the news about Mo, Dom, and Darwin Jamie on the bench tonight? They need a few minutes for the Saturday game. So I'm not sure yet. I've not seen anything. I think it's still touch and go. I think they're trying to keep them ready for the weekend and the City game. I think Liverpool are looking at that City game, which is next Sunday. So I think they're looking at. I think we will definitely see Darwin, Dominic Szoboszlai, and Mo Salah in the squad on Saturday against Forest, either starting or on the bench. And for tonight's game, you might see one of them. If I'm going to guess, I'd say Szoboszlai on the bench.
Yeah,
tonight.
Me too.
If I'm going to guess, I would say
I'd say Dom and Darwin on the bench tonight. I'll tell you what they have been doing though. Liverpool have been putting the privacy barriers up, so you can't see them training.
Scraps. Go on, mate.
They've been putting the privacy barrier up so other teams can't see our team, which I think is a good idea. Now we're probably going to do that to the rest of the season. So Man City can't like prep for whoever we've got in the team. Obviously we've got loads of players injured, so it makes sense like that we keep that up. We did in the build-up for the Chelsea game. Gakpo's a bag man. Leave him alone. Like he's a bag man. There's only one player that scores more chances than Gakpo in our team per chances, and that's Jota.
Yeah, but Jota's just.
Yeah, no, but Gakpo's a bag man. Like he has shots, he scores. It's just a fact.
Yeah, look, the problem with Gakpo is that he doesn't get himself in position enough. That's the problem with Cody. If Cody actually got himself in positions enough, I think Cody can get quite a few more goals. But Cody's problem is that I think he's a confidence player, and when he hasn't got a lot of confidence, it really does tell. I
wasn't saying he was trash. I was saying he just didn't have a position tied down. That was all. I wasn't saying he was trash. I don't say anyone's trash apart from Gravenberch.
Yeah, you're not a Gravenberch fan. Jota, Jota's the real deal, man. So apparently Ian Doyle is now, obviously from the Echo and that, Ian Doyle's now talking about this, he's saying about FSG want to hand Edwards a more senior role to help oversee the imminent appointment of the Red sporting director and manager. The Liverpool owners believe they can tempt Edwards back into reversing his decision. So there's more news there coming. So this news is spreading all the time. The more we get, I will go live. Don't worry about that, guys. If we get breaking news on anything Michael Edwards related, I'll go live to let you guys know. Obviously, I believe the club offered a role to Theo Epstein in unfortunate last name for that guy. But yeah, he's part of the FSG crew at the moment, helping with the data analytics side of it, looking for a new manager as well. But I think his whole thing is the manager side of it. Yeah, man, it's interesting. It's bloody interesting. There's no doubt about it, man. There's no doubt about it. And look, we'll have more on this as it goes, guys. But get your score predictions in. I'm going for a.
Someone just wrote, Doyle's going through Fabrizio Romano's bins.
Doyle just sitting
Ian
outside
Doyle is an
London apartment.
Doyley. Ian Doyle is a doily. He's never a fan.
I don't personally like Ian Doyle. I saw him on Redmen TV not too long ago, and he comes across proper arrogant arsehole. He really does.
He is.
He's no relation to that. I don't know. Keep it real. I can't say that word.
It's quite a common name, by the way. It's an unfortunate
Yeah.
name, but it's quite a common name.
God. Score
9-0
predictions.
all
I'm
times.
going 2-0. I'm going a comfortable 2-0 win for Liverpool today because I do think Southampton might rest a few of their top players because they've lost 3 and 4 in the Championship. They need to try and get automatic promotion if they can, or stay in the playoff areas. It's a disaster if Southampton don't get promoted this season financially for them. So, and then Liverpool being at Anfield with the Anfield crowd, the confidence going through the youngsters right now, the happiness of the Liverpool fans right now under the lights, I think that's enough to drive Liverpool forward. So I'm going Liverpool 2-0. Get your results in, guys. What are you going for, K-Mac?
I think it'll be 3-1. We love a 3-1. I actually think someone from the crowd will score for us because it'll just be a party atmosphere tonight. There'll be so many people going to the game who obviously couldn't go to the final. It'll just be like a party atmosphere. They'll probably show the cup as well, won't they, before the game?
Yeah, they'll walk around with the cup.
Yeah, they'll walk around with the cup. It'll be amazing. I think it'll be 3-1. I think they'll probably nick one at the end, but it won't be like they'll go 1-0 up or anything like that. We'll probably go like 2-0 up. They'll get one and then we'll score a third or something like that. I think Jadon Dance will score as well.
I'd love it. I'd love it if he scores.
I also think if Bradley plays, he'll score.
Yeah, I think Conor Bradley will play. I think Conor Bradley.
I'm
looking forward to the game. It's going to be a good one, guys. It's going to be a good one. So whatever you're doing, guys, make sure you enjoy the game. Enjoy the rest of your day. And guys, I'll see you tonight after the match. After the final whistle's gone, I'll be back later tonight for a match reaction, guys. So enjoy it. Make sure you got your notifications on, subscribe and all that sort of stuff. Jamie, what you think of my nickname, Haaland? Erling Romano. Jesus Christ. John W. Henry brace off the bench, you know. Big John's just booting up. Big up, Big John. Guys, thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate it. I'll see you again tonight. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye for now.